Want to know how to actually make money with a laser engraver? It's not about doing just one tumbler at a time, it's about doing batches. I just engraved over 20 stainless steel tumblers with the WeCreat Vision Pro 45-watt laser engraver. Why this machine over my other lasers? Because it's a beast. It's fast, it's powerful, it's precise, and that's the exact combo you need if you want to make more money in less time. And here's the best part. The steps I'm about to share work for just about any type of tumbler, whether you're engraving a skinny tumbler, a wine tumbler, or even those big 40-ounce tumblers. Once you know how to prep, measure, set up the rotary, and use the software, you can engrave almost any cup like a pro. By the way, in case you're new here, I'm Kerri, the author behind Cricut for Dummies. I share tutorials on all kinds of DIY creative projects, Cricut crafts, sublimation tumblers, custom shirts with DTF printing, and lots of laser engraving. Basically, all of the fun stuff that you can make at home or for your business. WeCreat sent me this machine to test out on my channel, and I thought, what better way to test it than with a mountain of tumblers? Let's see if I can engrave all of these tumblers without messing any of them up. Stick with me because in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire batch engraving process from start to finish. I'll show you how to prep your tumblers for engraving by removing the handles on those larger 40-ounce cups and making sure they're clean. You'll see how to measure your cups so the design wraps perfectly, and then I'll take you step by step through installing the rotary and swapping jaws so your tumbler is held tight and doesn't slip. I'll show you my simple tricks for lining up your logo so it's straight and centered every time. When you're engraving multiple tumblers for a business, consistency really matters. You don't want them looking uneven or at different heights when they're all on display. After that, we'll jump into the exact software settings I use and wrap up with tips that make sure every tumbler in the run comes out clean, consistent, and ready to sell. By the end, you'll see how batch engraving can save you time and boost your hourly profit, sometimes doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling how much money you can make an hour. Let's dive in. Before you even think about setting up the rotary, you've got to prep your cup. If you're working with big tumblers like these 40-ounce ones, the first step is removing the handle. Most of them have 2 screws underneath. Just unscrew those and the handle will slide right off. If you skip this step, the laser head is going to crash into the handle, and that's definitely not something you want happening. Once the screws are out, use your fingers or a pair of needle nose pliers to gently bend the tabs down. Now, I know this is kind of a hot debate in the laser engraving world. Some people say that bending the tabs weakens the handle and shouldn't be done. Maybe that's true, but you're only bending them once, and with this laser, it's the only way to make it work. I've been using tumblers engraved this way for over a year, and I've never had a handle break on me. If you'd rather skip the whole bending process, you can either choose a tumbler that doesn't have a handle, or there's actually a company called MakerFlow that makes tumblers designed for laser engraving. On theirs, the handle attaches to the lid instead of the cup, so you don't have to remove it at all. You can just unscrew the top and then put your tumbler in the rotary. I'll drop a link in the video description if you want to check those out. I love engraving skinny tumblers like these because the straight sides make it easy and you don't have to mess with removing the handles. Next, check inside your cup. A lot of tumblers come with care instruction papers tucked inside. Make sure you take those out before engraving so they don't get in the way of the rotary jaws. I forgot to take out the instructions and accidentally dumped them in the running water in the sink when I was rinsing the cup off. Next, you've got to give the outside of your tumbler a good wipe down with rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe. Coffee filters are great lint-free wipes that you may already have in your cabinet. Wipe the surface down really well to remove fingerprints, oils, or dust that could interfere with the laser, causing uneven engravings. A clean surface gives you the best engraving results and keeps everything looking professional. Before you put the tumbler on the rotary, you'll want to measure it so that the software knows the size. That's what makes the design wrap evenly all the way around. There are 2 easy ways to do this. You can use a flexible tape measure and wrap it around the cup to get the perimeter, or you can grab digital calipers and measure straight across the top to get the diameter. I like digital calipers better because they give you the exact number on the screen, so you don't have to worry about lining the tape measure up just right or misreading it.
How much is this? 300? I don't know how to read these.
Gotta look at the bottom.
Once you've got your measurement, jot it down so you can enter it into the software. When you engrave tumblers with the WeCreat Vision Pro, you'll be using the rotary attachment. This is a tool that sits inside your laser and slowly rotates the tumbler so the design wraps all the way around. On the end of the rotary is the chuck, and the movable parts on the chuck are called jaws. The jaws are what actually grips the tumbler and keeps it from slipping while it turns. The 45-watt Vision Pro comes with several types of jaws, but the two that I usually use are the rubber-coated jaws and the long metal jaws. The rubber-coated jaws are great for wide-mouth tumblers like these 40-ounce cups because they hold on tightly without scratching. But if your cup has a smaller opening, the rubber jaws don't always fit. That's when I swap to the longer metal jaws. Those reach further inside and hold narrow cups securely. Swapping jaws is pretty simple. You just turn off the machine, grab the little hex wrench that comes with the rotary, and loosen the screws. Slide the jaws out, line up the new ones, and tighten them back down. It only takes a couple of minutes, and once you've done it, it's very straightforward. All right, let's set up that rotary. First rule, machine off before we start. Step 1, open the lid. Step 2, remove the laser bed. Step 3, remove any existing rotary screws. Step 4, position the rotary. Pro tip, that little pin on the bottom, make sure it goes in the right hole or nothing will work. And step 5, insert and tighten the screws. Step 6, connect the rotary plug. Step 7, turn the machine back on. Here's my trick for consistent placement. We want the logo visible when someone's drinking. This isn't quite as important with these tumblers because wherever this spins, it doesn't really matter. But if this had a handle on it, you'd want to make sure that the logo ended up on the front and not like on the side while you're drinking it. Mark 90 degrees clockwise from the straw or handle. This mark faces up in the machine. I also measured 2 inches down from the top of the tumbler and made a small pencil mark to help me place the logo in the same spot every time. Insert the tumbler and twist the chuck to tighten it. Use the wheel on the support to raise or lower it until it's level. In the software, click on New Project and connect it to your machine. Under Settings, turn off Air Assist. Turn off Non-Engrave Area. Click Laser Cylindrical. Enter your perimeter. Mine is 235 millimeters. Import your design. My tested settings for teal and white tumblers. Power 40%, speed 220, passes 1, and line density 200. About that air assist, turning it off prevents the charred powder from staining your tumblers. Trust me, cleanup is so much easier. Now we can press start in the software and then on the machine. Here's the part that most beginners don't realize. The engraving itself is quick. On this machine, engraving this logo takes about 11 minutes per tumbler. What really eats up your time is everything that happens before you even press start. The back and forth emails with your customer about their design, getting the file resized and positioned just right in the software, installing the rotary, leveling the tumbler, and running a test engrave. By the time all that's done, you've already spent close to an hour and you've only got one tumbler to show for it. If you bought that tumbler for $8 and sold it for $25, that's only about $17 profit for the whole hour. It's not bad, but it's not great. Now take that same setup and run 10 tumblers and suddenly you're at $170 profit for the afternoon. That's why I don't want to stop at just one, I want to do a whole batch. I'd rather do the setup once, let the machine crank through a whole batch, and watch the profits multiply. Let's say you engrave 10 tumblers with the same logo. That 1 hour of setup doesn't change, it's already behind you. Each tumbler after the first only takes those 11 minutes. So instead of making $17 an hour, now you're making closer to 60 or 70 since you can crank out 5 tumblers in an hour. Same tumbler, same machine, but batch engraving makes your time worth so much more. Sometimes figuring out how much to charge for your projects can be challenging. Let me know in the comments, how much would you charge for a laser engraved tumbler like this? Do you have a certain formula you use, like the cost of the blank times 3? Or do you charge per hour for your work? I think we'd all love to hear your take on it in the comments. After engraving, it's totally normal to see smoky marks around your design. Turning off the air assist helps reduce this a lot, but there's still going to be some residue you've just got to scrub off. I get a magic eraser and some water and go to town. Sometimes you've really got to put some muscle into it to get it looking perfect. Don't be afraid to give it a really hard scrub. One tip, be careful not to smash the tumbler on the edge of your sink when you're scrubbing them. If you press the cup too hard against your sink, you can scratch or dent it. I like to put a towel down under it just to be safe. Once you've given it a good scrub, the design pops and the tumbler looks super clean and professional. Now comes the fun part. Once the first tumbler is finished, the rest fly by. That's the power of batch engraving. The more you repeat the design, the more your hourly rate multiplies. While that's running, imagine doing 10 of these. One afternoon's work, $170 profit. Not bad, right? Remember, I actually made 20 of these, so double that. Want to know my secret for landing business clients? I give them something custom for free. It could be a tumbler with their logo, a cutting board for a restaurant, or a coaster for a bar. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive, just something that you can offer that you think suits their business. The second that they see their logo engraved on something useful, they almost always say, "Can you make me more of these? And what else can you make?" That one freebie can turn into a big order. And once you've got that relationship, upselling becomes easy. One tumbler might lead into mugs, pens, or even shirts if you've got a DTF or sublimation printer. Or even a Cricut. You can make shirts with a Cricut, which I actually cover in my book, Cricut for Dummies. I've had clients order tumblers first and then immediately add on shirts for their whole team. And this is why I love the WeCreat Vision Pro. It's not just for tumblers. You can engrave coasters, plaques, keychains, cutting boards, anything a business wants their logo on. Pair that power with batch engraving and you're not just making products, you're building relationships that keep paying you again and again. So if you're ready to grow a side hustle into something bigger, start with free samples, think in batches, and let the machine do the hard work. If this video helped you out, hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss out on the next one. If you're interested in buying a WeCreat Vision Pro, click that link in my video description to learn more. Since I am part of their affiliate program, I will earn a small commission at no additional cost to you if you make a purchase through my link. If you want more ideas for other products that you can offer in your small business, like DTF printed shirts, vinyl decals, or ornaments, I have videos for all of that on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.